Today we've been in Buxton doing around 4 miles up to Solomon's Temple. On the way we check out the Pavilion Gardens and tick off another Ethel Hill, Grin Low, our 10th one. The tower was great with full 360-degree views, and on the way back we couldn't help finishing off with a ride on the narrow gauge railway in the Pavilion Gardens. Join us for a lovely steady day's walking in the Derbyshire sunshine.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today you're joining us in the historic and charming town of Buxton in Derbyshire, and today we'll be completing around roughly a 4-mile circular walk to the Victorian folly of Solomon's Temple.
The journey begins in the Pavilion Gardens, opened in 1871 and designed by Edward Milner. Here, quiet water, open green spaces and Victorian design shape one of Buxton's most loved places. We've parked nearer to the railway station and on the way over here enjoyed looking at the Crescent building, a Grade 1 listed Georgian building, now a luxury hotel, and a look through the many shops in Buxton town centre. We stopped to have a listen to a street musician playing Fleetwood Mac's guitar-based instrumental song, Albatross. Wow. In 2015, author Bill Bryson declared, "The Pavilion Gardens must be the most delightful town park in the country," and it's hard to disagree with him. We stopped to look at the narrow gauge railway, a feature since 1972. We'll be back here later to have a ride.
What are you going on? Dude, it's great.
A friendly moorhen was pecking around. The park is in the valley of the River Wye, and 2 of its tributaries also flow through.
So we've just taken a walk through Pavilion Gardens there, and that's a real treat. It's lovely. But we're heading along this road now to Pool Cavern. So we're just passing Pool's Cavern here to my right, and you can actually park here. I presume that there's a fee to do that, and it makes it a bit of a shorter walk up to the temple. But we decided to park in central Buxton because we wanted more of a walk.
After leaving Green Lane we join a footpath through the Buxton and Pools Cavern Country Park.
So we're just continuing along the path here towards Solomon Temple.
High above Buxton, Grin Low tells a very different story from the spa town below. For centuries, this hillside was alive with industry. Limestone was quarried and burned in more than 100 kilns to make quicklime for building and agriculture. By the 1820s, the landscape was so scarred that the 6th Duke of Devonshire ordered the whole hillside to be planted with trees, creating the woodland we're in today.
So we've made it to the top of the hill now, and this part is called Grin Low. And you'll see in the backdrop there, that is Solomon's Temple, and it's actually on another Ethel, this. So that's our 10th Ethel we've completed. What we're going to do is we're going to have a break, have a coffee, and then we're going to explore Solomon's Temple, and we'll come back to you. So behind me there is Grin Low Tower, known locally as Solomon's Tower, and it crowns the skyline across Buxton and stands at 437 metres above sea level. Let's go and have a look.
Solomon's Temple is a Victorian folly with an interesting backstory. The tower you see today was built in 1896, replacing an earlier structure put up by local farmer Solomon, whose name it still carries. The current tower was designed by architects W. R. Bryden and G. E. Garlick after the original structure had fallen into ruin. It was paid for by public subscription plus a contribution from the 7th Duke of Devonshire. The hill beneath it holds a deeper history. When archaeologists excavated the site, they uncovered a Bronze Age burial mound, human remains, ancient pottery, and traces of people who lived here thousands of years before the tower appeared. Today, Solomon's Temple offers one of the finest views in the Peak District.
So we've just completed the Solomon's Temple, and that was fantastic. You get great panoramic 360-degree views across Buxton, as you can see behind me. But we'll be taking a different route back. This is a circular walk, so we'll be taking some different footpaths down that way back into Buxton. So we've just left the field up there, the footpath from Solomon's Temple, and we're just crossing the recreational ground at the moment. We'll be heading over that way, passing through some houses and heading back to the Pavilion Gardens.
We called in at the Pavilion Gardens play park, had an ice cream and then headed over for a ride on the train. Running through the Pavilion Gardens is Buxton's 12.25-inch gauge miniature railway. First laid in 1972 and later upgraded to handle heavier trains. The line forms a 320-yard loop complete with a steel-framed tunnel that doubles as the engine shed. Modern diesel hydraulic locomotives haul the trains past the lake and lawns, making this small-scale railway a long-standing piece of engineering within the Victorian park. The conservatory gardens form one of the quietest corners of the Pavilion Gardens, where glasshouse planting spills out into neat borders and winding paths, designed to showcase exotic species alongside traditional blooms. This space blends Victorian horticulture with calm, sheltered greenery, a small oasis at the heart of the park. Walking out past the Crescent building, you can't help but admire the architecture. At the edge of the Crescent stands St Anne's Well, where warm mineral water has flowed from deep underground for thousands of years. Rising at a constant 27 degrees, the spring was sacred long before Buxton became a spa town.
That's the end of today's episode. Just like to say what a great walk that's been today. It's not been grueling at all. It's been really nice, really steady. The temple was fantastic with the great views. Highly recommend it. And obviously the area itself, what a wonderful place to come and visit. I hope you've liked today's episode. If you have, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow. And hopefully we'll see you again next time. Ta-ra then.